job site on this summer day in July. We are at the Mystery Mine project. The concrete truck just arrived, and I hear we're doing some really cool shooting in the grotto today. So I will have you here live for the beginning, and then we'll be heading out for the rest of our day. So let's check it out. Right now the truck just rolled up and they're adding a little bit of water. Then we are going to see what happens next. This is action-packed, let me tell you. We're waiting, we're mixing. See what everybody's up to as we are just waiting. Here's Al with a few last minute game day instructions to Kaylee. It's kind of like the coach giving the plays. Kaylee will be on the nozzle. There's Zach will be holding Kaylee up / doing whatever needs to be done. Karen is going to be hanging out, just lounging by the pool, getting a suntan. Yep. There's Jesse finishing up some of the last minute secret surprises that the homeowners don't know anything about. Yeah, so that's gonna be really fun. Yep, so this is, just really action-packed here. Action-packed. Well, let's check out Karen. Karen with the smooth buttering action of tile application. This is a really fun tile, Karen. I'm really glad that Al chose it along with the rest of us. I know we voted, and several of us on the team, I think, liked this one. It's a new one we haven't done before.
No, but I kept seeing it at SCP. But it was on the wall. They never had a sample of it.
Ah.
So when they finally got samples of it, I grabbed it. Thankfully, Al.
Thankfully, it was on the approved list.
Yes,
yeah.
Al's approved list.
That's great.
Okay.
Yep, here comes Coach with some more instructions. Karen's gonna be...
Let me put 3 tile on.
There's big chunks in the truck. So chunks are a problem because if we get chunks in the hose, then it blocks the hose, backs it up, and this hose has a huge amount of pressure. So if you get a blockage, it's kind of like stepping on a garden hose, then it's gonna come out, and when it does, it's going to be furious. So these hoses, Kaylee does make it look rather easy. They throw, grown men around as well as grown-up pool girls. So it takes a lot of talent and skill. We're ready. What's that, Kaylee? It's like a fire hose. Yeah. How strong is it or how heavy? 500 pounds per certain footage. Al would know those probably. We can get the details. Kaylee's wearing a mask, which is great. That's Mom approved the mask. Good touch, because otherwise it's rebounding, getting all up in your face. And this is going to be shooting in the grotto, so it's going to be a bit of an enclosed space. Let's see if we can peek around here, find out or glimpse some of the super secret surprises that will be happening. Looks like a window, but it doesn't look like a window. Interesting. Let's go check it out up here. I will not be standing here once the concrete starts shooting. But yeah, check out this. This is a really interesting shape of a grotto. Formed, tied. Got a lot of wiring poking out in there. Not quite sure what that's about. Oh, wow. Check this out. Yeah, that's a lot of wires. I like the way we're thinking, people. We should block the homeowners from the page. We could. Then again, this is way more fun because I keep talking about all the secrets I'm going to tell. But, yep, we're not going to be releasing any of the secrets. Don't you worry. Interesting. There's another random box in there. Wonder what that could be. Kaylee, what's going through your head right now?
Waiting for the truck to be done so we can start shooting.
Yeah? You thinking through anything or you're just waiting?
I'm just waiting and figuring out. I know where I'm shooting, but how I'm going to get the hose twisted in the right position. That way it's easier.
Oh, we got some action happening over here. There we are. Al's checking to see if he likes the mix. Looking for any of those chunks that could create a huge issue. So a lot of what we do when we build pools, while it may look like it all flows and it's pretty effortless, this is heavy machinery. Dangerous if you don't know what you're looking at or for. Some of the things that I just know from stories I've heard are stay away from the hoses, and if anything starts to go wrong, the people that know what they're supposed to be doing should be the ones in there. Like for example, you can see the clamps on the hose there. If any of those chunks try to come through that hose and we got a blockage, of course, things look for the easiest path. So you definitely don't want to be standing in the danger areas should something like that happen. We have a pretty good experienced team going on. That's why Al was checking the truck, making sure there's no chunks. If he has chunks in the mix and you're just wheeling, it's plopping out in a wheelbarrow and you're dumping it out. So not as critical as if you're trying to get it through this hose. So they prime the pump with the bentonite, which gives it a slick ride down the hose. Karen's going to be in charge of making sure the mud goes into the pump. We're starting, making sure it's going in. He gives the thumbs up. Here's Kaylee. I don't know our best vantage point here, but I'm probably not going to stand behind the grotto because I don't need a shower. Okay, it's a hot day today, not as hot as some that we've done this. So the girls on our team have really taken to the heavy lifting, concrete parts of things. They love it. Kaylee loves it. Jessie loves it. That's a really big, heavy hose. Al has begun having Kaylee do more of the shooting when she's comfortable with doing it to get her more experienced. I know when Katie was on the Shot Creek crew before she was doing so much video work, that was also a part that she really liked. It's taxing work, and it's not like you can just say, hey, I'm done, because you got a truck full of material that still needs to come out. So let's just go see if we can get a little closer. It's also important to note that the person on the nozzle is always aware of what they're doing with the material because they want the material in the right place. They also are being aware of where everybody is around them because when they go to turn, they definitely don't want to turn towards somebody. So there's a lot going on just in the person that is hanging on to the nozzle. In situations where things do happen, it's important that there's that awareness. For example, on one of the jobs, when Kaylee was on the nozzle and they were shooting the sun shelf, something happened with the hose. It got plugged up and it burst, so it kind of flung Kaylee off the sun shelf. Had she let go of the hose, that could have been catastrophic because it's like wrestling a fire hose at that point. So she pretty much grabbed it, hung on, and I think landed on top of it so that she wouldn't let go of the hose because that would be a really, really bad thing. So I'm always in awe and pretty impressed at what our team does and what they know to do. Here's some of our conduit, both for lighting, and then there's some of our plumbing. We've been told by people in the industry that we've got sexy plumbing, meaning we overbuild, we don't underbuild. So our pipes, our plumbing is always more than sufficient versus not enough. Let's see, Karen is back there, making sure the mud's going in the hopper appropriately. Here's the hose on a construction site, always being conscious of what all the moving parts are, very important. If someone is new to a construction site, rule of thumb is pick a person and stick close to them and figure out what they're doing, since they likely know their way around. Wow, this is a crazy amount of stuff going on, and messages carved in the wall. Huh. I wonder what that's going to turn out like. It's crazy. You could be wondering if we could hand pack a grotto, meaning do we have to do the shotcrete or could we mix in place? And we could do it either way. We have done it either way. This way just gets us there faster. So this way it's the truck and the hose and placing it. The other way is just a lot of manpower. We've mixed, I think on the minor job, the mixer was going, and I think it was Matt, Al's nephew, on the mixer, and he mixed and mixed and mixed and mixed, and that's how it was created. So for a concrete day to feel good, the truck arrives, the mix is right, the hose primes, it comes out the nozzle at the right amount of, I believe slump is a word that I hear used in this term, and I would assume that it's meaning the amount of kind of stickiness or consistency that it has, so that when it comes out it's not too watery and just running onto the floor. But in this case you can definitely see how when Al is placing it, it's coming out and that it's staying in the location where he puts it. I know sometimes if an area gets too thick or if there's too much, then that's sometimes when sections will fall. But when it's all going well, then we got that. So I believe the truck's pretty full today, so I think Al's going to be working his way around pretty much that entire grotto with the mud. So Kaylee just went back toward the truck, came back with some kind of a report, which she was giving Al. Kaylee is really taking this seriously, and I know that every person on the job site has a specific job on a day like today, including the driver of the concrete truck. They really do need to know what they're doing. They need to be watching the mix. They need to communicate when the truck is getting close to empty. They need to be communicating if they're noticing anything happening. So a good driver is as critical to a successful day as any of the other moving parts. And I know Kaylee takes it really seriously if the driver is not doing what is expected of the driver. I know she's getting a little bit more vocal about the way it should be, which is great. Taking ownership of some of the different pieces it's great for the team because we've got more specialists, and it's great for Al because then he can give some of that responsibility to the next most capable person, leaving him sometimes free for some other things. So Kaylee's getting in behind him. Looks like she's shaping, and in some of the places checking if the mud is thick enough, not thick enough, because Kaylee's got the plan, Jesse's got the plan, Al's got the plan. Fun fact, homeowner does not have the plan in this case. At the beginning of the project, as Al was finishing up the drawing and permits, we could have attempted to explain to the homeowner what we were thinking, and we thought it would be way more fun if we kept it a secret. So we're like, hey, we have some great ideas for this grotto. Are you okay with not knowing anything? And yeah, they said yes. So here we are, which is why we called it magic and mystery. Mostly because, well, to the homeowner and everybody else, it's a mystery. You can see we've got boards up to help control the placement of this. And even from where I'm standing back here, the ricochets of the stones and rocks that are coming out of that nozzle are a pretty high velocity. So that's what we see, a little bit of that rebounding. I think we're gonna go pick a different vantage point here. Oh look, there's a skimmer. And the lower pool with some in-floor plumbing. I mean, so if this is fun to watch, we could watch golf for a while. How about that? I could just spin us around. Yeah, we could just watch golf. No, this is way more fun. So the instructions are make sure that hopper stays full, because we're getting a little low here, and that's definitely not good. It'll start splashing. We never want the flow to stop because we need that to keep coming out the nozzle. As you can see, Karen's getting a little bit of a shower there. So that's where communication is key, knowing what's happening and making sure communicating that with the driver. In a lot of cases, as you can see, Al has no line of sight to the driver and Karen have no line of sight to Al. So person on the end of the nozzle doesn't always have a clear line of communication. All right, so here we are, tricky. It's a closed, confined space. It's a big nozzle. I'm assuming when Kaylee came in and then she went back out, she was giving the driver some instructions on the mix. I think Al's going up the walls a little bit more, and I'm pretty sure that they gave a little different instructions for the consistency of the mud that they want coming out right now. I was going to move, but this is turning out to be pretty interesting from just back here. So when I'm on a job site, I'm always paying attention to what every member of the team is doing, body language, whether or not they're looking anxious, did they start moving a little more quickly, because that gives a good indication of what's going on the job site. Right now, Jesse and Kaylee, they've been here a bunch of times. They've done this before. They are, you know, just kind of doing mindful things, so no need to panic anybody. Although, funny story, sometimes if something does start to go sideways on a job, the number one rule is you never act like it is. You get to the remedy or do your part to get it back on track, but especially if there's an audience, if we're live on Facebook, if the homeowner is watching, yeah, you always act like it's exactly like it's supposed to be. Oh, here we have the hose handoff. Kaylee shooting. Jesse with a couple of buckets of water. Teamwork. Oh, Kaylee bunched all the way up in the rebar shell right there, helping get the hose angled where it's supposed to be. I mean, talk about fun job descriptions. So let's talk about the team. Stuff like this, fun job description. So it's either in you or it's not. If somebody hasn't ever tried it before, then they wouldn't know if it's in them or not. But wanting to be on the end of the gun, wanting to do concrete, like it's in you innately or it's not. And of course, anybody can learn anything. They can become a part of anything. But I know just from witnessing our team here, Kaylee's got concrete in her. Jessie is a tile and coping guru specialist. She is as able to man anything on a concrete day that she needs to. She just has her preferences, and so does Kaylee. And I'm talking about the girls a lot, I get it. It's worth talking about, it's worth noting. I mean, there's Karen over there on the mud and the hopper, kind of the beginning of the women on our team helping create some of these magical backyard escapes. Karen has been instrumental in teaching and empowering our entire team, whether they're male or female, learning the ropes and learning the way to do things. Zach has been with us now for a couple of seasons, off and on. He did a stint for a while, and then he went back to automotive. I do believe he's back to stay for the foreseeable future, which is very good. Although much less experienced in some of the different aspects of building, which is why he's taking on some of that secondary role. You can hear that aggregate in that mix, just the aggregate meaning the rock, stones, pebbles, just flinging around. They are all in sweatshirts, which is great. I will tell you, just being a redhead, the amount of time I've been in the sun doing the live means I will have a sunburn when I get back to the office. So an observation, something we've learned about men and women on the job. Women are fully capable of doing any of these pieces innately. Their muscular strength is different than where guys would come from. So guys have the upper body strength to, use their arms and be kind of solid in place where it is. I know girls, while Kaylee has incredible upper body strength, she's got to work a little harder at maintaining some of those things that just in the physiology or physical nature of the differences between men and women. She just has to work at it a little differently. So that hand you saw Al was just kind of pushing on her shoulder, giving her a little bit of that extra stability that comes from just being a little different. Let's check out what Jessie is doing. Oh, so here's where some of the mud fell, collapsed a little bit. Jessie's packing it back in there. The area that Jessie is working in right now is structural, but not an essential structural part. There is going to be a vinyl liner in this pool when all is said and done. So that's the wall kind of leading into the grotto where she was just leaning, is that transition point where we will go from our liner to the gunite. So technically Jesse is working in the gunite portion of the pool as well as that's what the grotto is. So it'll hold water, but it's not holding anything up. So really its job is just to sit there and look pretty. So Jesse is helping that undercoat get to the point where it can just look pretty. You'll notice too, if you're tuning in from any other areas, we're slumping a little on that wall. So I do believe when that starts to happen, it's important to keep that moving to different areas so that it has a little chance to set up before you put too much and make it too heavy. So if you ever wondered why Al has all those bumps and scratches on his head, this would be why. He just threw back his sweatshirt probably so he could get a better view, and yep, now his head's just gonna be bumping into that rebar. Anyway, as I was going to be saying, if you're tuning in from other areas of the country, I know there's always, in some of the different pool discussion groups I'm a part of, flex versus not flex pipe in a pool. We're in Michigan, we have frost, we have heaving, everything moves when the ground freezes. You can plan for it and you can make all the necessary accommodations. You can't prevent it, it's going to happen. So we have found, and Al has found, that flex is definitely something that is essential in plumbing of our projects. I know some builders in our area may do rigid on everything, rigid PVC. We have a lot of moving parts in ours. So to give us the best advantage and be prepared for any of that winter, we definitely use the flex. Some areas of the country as well have termite issues or things like that. Not something that we've come across here in Michigan. So just in case Al decides to go up with that, which there's not a form board there, so I really don't know that he will, but you know, see if that hose is moving, we're just gonna get out of the way. Because, yeah, if he lifted that above that board, it would land on my head all the way over here. Right now, by the way, I am in the swim up bar. So on that side of the wall, you'll be in the pool, and on this side of the wall, you'll be in dry land. So we're trenching to put in probably footings for the base of whatever this area ends up being constructed out of. Yeah, look at that right there where I was just standing. All that ricochet, fantastic. So the concept drawings for what this grotto is going to look like are spectacular. Like, if that is not just the most exciting thing that, again, the homeowners don't know anything about, but yeah, I see Chad just joined us. Chad, if Chad wanted to know what it's going to look like, we'd share all the details with him. Just not the homeowner. It'd be way better that way. Oh, there's our glue and primer. Actually, probably glue and cleaner. Still Jesse, making that wall look a little more beautiful. Oh wow, look at that. If you can look through the doorway of that grotto, you can see, looks like we have a bench, looks like we have a ledge. So the whole time that this hose has just been going, things have been happening. That's really awesome. Over to Karen, still watching the mud. Jesse patty caking some concrete. I don't know if the girls ever go back and watch these entirely. They might. I just yelled, we're out. So this part is critical for the hoses. Before we started, Kaylee had said, our form board's strong enough? Are we gonna have any blowouts? Because that's a pretty good amount of force, pretty good amount of weight, waiting to get solid. Of course, Chad in floor cleaning, always. So we gave the signal the truck's out. It's important to keep the hopper full until we are absolutely empty, ready to do the clean out. Whoever is standing by the pump is then responsible, as Al just started doing, for getting all those buckets of water in there as fast as possible. If you don't, then it does incredible amount of splash out, so not fun. Also, you don't want any voids in that hose, because if the concrete hardens up in these hoses, then you sledgehammer them apart, and that's awful. So they've got it down to a system. At this point, everybody has their part. Kaylee is hanging onto the hose, making sure it doesn't go anywhere it's not supposed to. Kind of like an angry sea monster. The bottom of this pool will end up with a drain, and then it will also... Karen! Karen! Bottom of this floor will end up with a hard bottom vermiculite mix. And yeah. Karen's definitely going to want to take a shower real quick on the job, get that concrete off her skin. Got lye. Lye is not good in your eye. No.
Blue bucket have water or the bent knife? That blue bucket have water or bent knife?
Is this hose up here hooked up?
Yes, it is.
Oh.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting he did that.
How'd it go?
Good.
Yeah. You want me to hold it up?
I'm good, thank you, though. See, this is why I always want red.
Oh, because Red's got a system.
Red knows the system. That guy was finally getting it. But he was letting it go down to the bottom. And that's when I get spit on me.
Yeah, I saw it burping up a few times. It's not good.
And then it was too dry at times, so I'm with the hose trying to tell him that.
And this is why our team also wears sweatshirts, people.
Yeah.
In case you wonder. So, Al, how did it go today?
Oh, just all kinds of fun.
It looks like
You're telling them a little dirty,
all kinds of fun.
all kinds of a mess. When you're in tight quarters like that, it's a mess. Not easy stuff.
So they've all been working on placing. Now they get to work on cleanup. Driver cleans up his truck, scrubs it down. Kaylee and Zach start cleaning out the pump. All those buckets of water are empty. Let's just go check out what they did. A lot of overspray. Already pretty dry, all these pieces of ricochet. That's what it looks like inside. After that concrete, so when the concrete's coming out of that hose, you're not so worried about where the pipes are, where the cords are, things like that. You just get it out as best you can, and now comes the fun part of figuring out, did we bury anything? Is everything all good? The wall obviously at the end came down a little bit. They'll shape it back up. It'll look fantastic. Quite a vantage point from up here. Woo-woo. Peek over the wall, check out what they're doing. Ooh, all right. Oh, and I thought I was flipping it around so that I could say I'm going to get out of the sun now. Hopefully you enjoyed commentary by Sandi on this fun-filled shotcrete day. See you next time.